Hi, hey there. My name is Adela Kingsley James. How are you doing today? I hope you have had a wonderful day so far, or you're having a wonderful day, or your day is going to be wonderful because it depends on when you're watching this video. How has the year been so far? January is done now, and we're in February. How was January for you? How many things do you or have you written down that you're grateful for, or will you write down that you're grateful for? How many things can you sit down and just be so proud of yourself for achieving? How many things can you, and it doesn't have to be anything major, it could just be a little thing, right? That you said you were going to do in January and you did. How many things did you, or how many times did you see yourself wriggle out of something that could possibly have gone so wrong, but it ended up becoming so right for you? How many things can you sit down and just be blessed about? That see what has happened to me just in January. Imagine what can happen to me during the rest of the year. How many of us had moments where we just sat down and just basked in the ambience of love and appreciation and giving and receiving? We underestimate what can happen in 1 month. We underestimate what can happen in 1 year. Your life can go from night to day in 1 month. And in 1 year, imagine what can happen if it can go from night to day in 1 day, in 1 month. And so today I want to talk about having a winning mindset. It is a mindset. Now, and I'm not saying that this is where, every day you are great at something or you're winning at something. The truth is, if you don't, and I'm going to use the quote, lose at things or fail at things, you are actually not giving it your best. And I know that these are two of the things that we're so afraid of. Failing, losing, being laughed at, all those things, because we keep on comparing ourselves to other people. So if you don't fail at something, then you haven't really tried at it. Because regardless of whether you like it or not, there are things that you will do so well at, and there are things that you will do that you will not do so well at. Every one of it is a learning for me. Because now I know what to do more of, and I know what to do less of, right? So I've learned. I don't see it as failure, and that's why I put it in quotes, failure or losing. And I also always believe that everything works together for my good. Imagine when, sometimes you miss a flight and then you hear that plane crashed. What do you say? Thank God. Thank God I listened to my mind or my intuition or something else happened. Why don't we then do that for things that also don't go right for us as well? And say, thank God, because I know that only good can come out of this. And for me, that's a winning mindset, where we just know that regardless of what happens, everything works together for me. There was a time I think my husband and I had a huge, I thought that was going to really break the should I say, the foundation of our marriage, to be honest. But because I'd done a lot of growth work at this point, what I did was, first of all, remove myself from it and look at it with like a bird's eye view, and with that bird's eye view, I wanted to just see how I contributed to how that thing happened the way it happened, so that, I can learn from it. But I also knew that this had to happen for something good. And it was only the good I was ready and waiting to see from it. And I'm so glad that I went in with that mindset, because it helped me, first of all, stop telling myself a negative story about it and creating a negative picture for it. And I started to sit back and say, God, I don't know. I don't like what happened. I don't like what has happened, but I want to take full responsibility for it. What could I have done differently? What could I have done less of? Or what can I do less of? What can I do more of? And I know that this happened for me to grow, and I will pass this with flying colors. And I actually wrote a course out of it at the end of the whole thing, because I was really in it to learn, so deep into it to learn. And I was very excited that I did. And I did all the things that I did through that process, People will call me, go home. And I'm like, you guys leave me alone. Let me sort this out myself in my way, so that I feel comfortable with having this conversation again and from a place of power. And for me, that's what happened. So, how do we go into our lives or the things that happen to us, whether work, whether our relationships, whether business, how do we go in there knowing that everything happens for my good? And because I want to take responsibility for everything that happens, I can create something else. And I always say to people, the fact that you now know what you don't want, it gives you the opportunity to know what you want. And so why not focus on what you want? And that also for me is a winning mindset. I don't focus on the things that I don't want because I don't want them. So why give them gas? So if for example, I don't want a cold, right? So what do I want? I want healing. I want a clear nose and clear lungs. And so I focus on a clear nose and clear lungs. I don't focus on not having a cold because your mind doesn't understand the word not. When you say I will not have a cold, you will have a cold. So rather than saying I will not have a cold, what is the opposite of it? I am healed. Or my body is a wellness machine. I only do wellness. Those are the difference between a fixed mindset, as they call it, and a growth mindset or a winning mindset. And the truth, you can win at everything. It just is how you look at it and the story that you tell yourself. If your story to yourself, the meaning that you give to anything is positive, regardless of what happens, you'll stay positive. If the meaning of what you give to things is negative, regardless of what it is, it will stay negative. Now, is this saying that, sometimes I don't think negative? I do. However, I know how to flip it in no time because I know how to do the work. I know. And I know that I'm the creator of my reality. And so I ask myself, this thing that I'm creating, am I going to be excited about it at the end of the day? Once my answer is no, does it empower me? No. Does it make me happy? No. Does it grow me? No. Control Alt Delete. And I focus on what I really want, whether in my marital relationships, whether in my friendships, whatever, in my business, in my relationships with my boss or people, colleagues. Oh, you should hear me. You should hear me when I create my reality. And that's what I'm teaching us today. Stay in a place of constant creation. However, be careful what you create because whether you like it or not, you're a creator. I say it all the time. So it's either you're creating negative or you're creating positive, but you are creating with your thoughts, with your words. And your words and your thoughts make pictures. And those pictures, once you see it and you stay seeing it, it will come into fruition. And that then becomes self-prophecy. So do you want a great relationship? Start to speak about a great relationship. Do you want a great marriage? Speak about a great marriage. Do you want great business? Speak about a successful business. Whatever you want to do, just speak about it from the best positive way possible and see it happen. And for me, that's a winning mindset, knowing that everything works together for me and everything is a learning. And I come there with a positive attitude, regardless of what it is. And I am peace. I choose peace. Those are the things that I say to myself every time. And they work for me all the time. All the time, I promise you. And if it works for me, I guarantee you it can work for you because we're one of a kind. There's no difference between us. So I hope I've helped today in helping you and teaching you grow a winning mindset. Stay winning. Keep winning. Keep thinking winning. Keep being winning. Keep doing winning. And then start having winning. Have a wonderful day. I love you. Love and light.